Good evening, and welcome to Mythic Rest, where ancient stories bring a little quiet to the mind. If these tales help you rest, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Now, settle in and let tonight's story carry you gently into sleep. The hall of Bran mac Febail stood on a hill in Emain Macha, in the green, rolling, rain-washed land that would one day be called Ulster in the north of Ireland. It was evening. The fire in the centre of the hall burned low and steady, its flames casting long, shifting, amber shadows on the stone walls, the shadows moving like living things, like the shapes of stories, waiting to be told. The warriors of Bran's household sat on their benches, their mead cups in their hands, their voices low and warm with the particular, comfortable, unhurried conversation of men who have fought together and eaten together and slept under the same roof for years, and who know each other so well that the knowing has become a kind of silence, a silence that does not need to be filled because it is already full. As you settle into your own evening tonight, let that hall be the first place you enter. The fire is burning. The mead is warm. The voices are low. The stone walls hold the heat the way a cupped hand holds water, and the air smells of wood smoke and honey and the damp, green, earthy smell that is the smell of Ireland itself, the smell of wet grass and wet stone, and the faint, sweet, mossy scent of the hills that stretch in every direction, green upon green upon green, the deepest, most varied, most endlessly surprising green that exists anywhere in the world. Bran was a king, not a great king. The stories do not claim greatness for him. Not a warrior king, not a sage king, not a king of legends and conquests. He was a good king, a fair king, a king who kept his people fed, and his borders peaceful, and his hearth fire burning. And the keeping was enough, and the enough was the kind of life that does not make it into the epic poems, but that is, in its own quiet way, the foundation on which all the epic poems are built. Because without the good kings and the fair kings and the steady, reliable, unremarkable kings who keep the world running, there would be no world for the great kings to disrupt, and the hero, kings to save, and the poet, kings to sing about. It was into this hall, on this evening, that the music came. It did not come from outside. It did not come from the door, or the window, or the smoke hole in the roof. It came from everywhere and nowhere, from the air itself, from the spaces between the sounds of the hall. The crackle of the fire, the murmur of voices, the clink of cups. And it filled those spaces, and then it filled the hall, and then it filled Bran, and the filling was not a gradual thing, but a sudden thing, a complete thing, a thing that happened all at once and could not be undone. The music was unlike anything he had heard. It was sweeter than the harp sweeter than the voice of the best singer he had ever known, sweeter than the bird song at dawn, sweeter than the sound of water on stone. It was so beautiful that it seemed to come from the edge of the world itself, from the place where the known meets the unknown, where the seen meets the unseen, where the land meets the sea, and the sea meets the sky, and the sky meets whatever lies beyond the sky. And the music pulled at something deep inside Bran, something that he had not known was there, something that had been sleeping, perhaps all his life, and that now, hearing this music, woke. Bran stood. The hall fell silent. His warriors looked at him, and they saw that his eyes had changed, that they were no longer the eyes of the man they knew, the king they served, the companion they drank with. They were the eyes of a man who is seeing something that no one else can see, hearing something that no one else can hear, and the seeing and the hearing have taken him somewhere that they cannot follow. Bran stood motionless in his hall, and the music filled him, and he did not move, and he did not speak, and the stillness lasted for a long time, an hour, perhaps, or longer, because time had become uncertain, time had become unreliable, time had become something that the music had picked up and carried away, the way a river carries a leaf, and the leaf does not know how fast it is moving, or where it is going, only that it is moving, and the moving is not a choice, but a current. When the trance lifted, Bran found something in his hand, a silver branch. It was real, solid, cool to the touch, the weight of it unmistakable, the texture of it unmistakable, the reality of it unmistakable. It was white as moonlight, and it was covered in blossoms. White blossoms, small and delicate, and when the air moved through them, they chimed. Not rang, not tinkled, but chimed. A sound that was between a bell and a whisper, a sound that was both music and silence at the same time, a sound that seemed to come from the same place the other music had come from, the edge of the world, the place beyond. And then the woman appeared. She stood before Bran in the hall, and no one had seen her enter, and no one could say when she had arrived, because her arrival had not been an arrival in the way that arrivals usually are. A door opening, a footstep, a shadow, but a presence, a becoming, a thing that was not there, and then was there, the way mist appears on a hillside, the way a star appears in the evening sky, not suddenly, but inevitably, as if it had always been there, and was only now becoming visible. She was tall, otherworldly, dressed in colors that shifted like light on water, green and silver, and the faintest, most delicate gold, the colors of the sea, and the land and the place where they meet. She sang. Her voice was the voice that had made the music, or the music was the echo of her voice. Or the two were the same thing, and the hearing of them was the same thing, and the distinction between music and voice and presence and place was not a distinction that the mind could hold, because the mind was full, the mind was overwhelmed, the mind was a cup that had been filled to the brim and was now overflowing, and the overflow was not a loss, but a release. She sang of a land across the western sea, a land where there is no death, no sorrow, no sickness, no weariness, a land of eternal summer, where the trees bear fruit and flower at the same time, where the rivers flow with mead and the hills are made of silver, where music never ceases and laughter never fades, and the people never age and never die and never know the weight of time that the people of Ireland know, the weight that presses on every shoulder and bends every back and turns every face, eventually toward the earth. She sang of this land, and the song was a summons, and the summons was an invitation, and the invitation was a door, and the door was open, and Bran could see through it, and what he saw was so beautiful that the hall, the fire, the warriors, the mead, the whole of his familiar, comfortable, good and sufficient life, all of it seemed, in the light of what he was seeing through that door, to be not enough. The woman departed. She did not walk out. She did not disappear. She simply was not there anymore, the way a cloud is not there anymore when the wind moves it, the way a sound is not there anymore when the silence returns. But the silver branch remained. It sat in Bran's hand, solid, real, chiming softly, and the chiming was the only sound in the hall, and the hall was silent, and the silence was the silence of a world that has changed and does not yet know how. Bran was changed. The change was not visible. He looked the same, he stood the same, he held himself the same, but inside, in the place where the music had gone, in the place where the song had planted itself, the change was total and permanent and irreversible. He could no longer be content with his hall. He could no longer be content with his warriors, his fire, his mid, his good and sufficient life. The song had shown him something else, and the something else had taken root, and the root was deep, and the deep root would not be pulled up. And the only thing to do was to follow it, to follow the root down, and the branch west, to follow the music to its source, to follow the summons to its sender, to follow the silver branch to the land it came from, the land across the western sea, the land of no death and no sorrow and no end. He gathered his companions, 27 men, 3 boats. The boats were currais, Irish skin boats, lightweight, wooden framed, covered in animal hides, stretched tight and sealed with tar. The boats that the Irish have used since before memory, the boats that can cross the open ocean, because they are light enough to ride the waves and strong enough to survive the storms and flexible enough to bend without breaking. They loaded the boats with provisions, water, dried meat, oat cakes, mid. They launched from the shore at dawn, the sun behind them, the open sea ahead, and the coast of Ireland shrank behind them, and the open sea stretched before them, vast and unknown and calling, calling with the voice that Bran could still hear, and that no one else could, the voice that was the silver branch chiming in the salt wind. Two days and 2 nights on the open sea. The rhythm of the oars: dip, pull, lift, dip, pull, lift. The oldest rhythm, the rhythm that is the heartbeat of all sea voyages, the rhythm that becomes, after hours, not a sound, but a part of the body, a part of the breathing, a part of the being. The creak of the timber, the slap of the water against the hull, the wind in the rigging, the sounds of the sea, the sounds that have been the companion of every voyager since the first human pushed the first boat into the first water and let the current carry them away from everything they knew. As your own night deepens, let that rhythm be your rhythm. The dip, the pull, the lift, the breath in, the breath out, the slow, steady, regular, hypnotic repetition that is not repetition but ritual, the ritual of moving through water, the ritual of moving through time, the ritual of moving from waking to sleeping, which is also a voyage, also a crossing, also a journey from one shore to another. And the other shore is not far, and the other shore is not unknown, and the other shore is the place where rest lives, and rest is waiting for you, the way the Otherworld was waiting for Bran, beyond the horizon, beyond the edge of the known, in the place where the sea meets the sky. Bran's men were brave. They were warriors, and warriors are trained to face the unknown with a steady hand and a calm heart. But the open ocean is a different kind of unknown. The open ocean is not an enemy you can fight. The open ocean is a vastness you must cross, and the crossing is not a battle, but a surrender. A surrender to the water, to the wind, to the current, to the slow, patient, immense forces that have been moving since before the first island rose from the first sea, and that will be moving long after the last island has sunk back beneath the waves. The men were uneasy. They did not show it. Warriors do not show unease, but they felt it the way you feel a change in the weather before you see the clouds, the way you feel the deepening of the water beneath the boat, the way you feel the distance growing between you and the shore, and the shrinking of the world you know, and the growing of the world you do not. At night, the stars were so close it felt like they could reach up and touch them. The Atlantic at night, far from any shore, under a sky untroubled by any artificial light, is a place where the stars do not merely shine, but press. They press down from the sky. They seem to lean toward the water. They seem to be drawn to their own reflections in the dark surface of the sea, and the reflections are as vivid as the stars themselves, and the water and the sky become one continuous field of light, and the boats float in the middle of it. Between the stars above and the stars below, between the real and the reflected, between the known and the unknown, in the place where all distinctions dissolve, and the only thing that remains is the vast, quiet, luminous, breathing presence of the night itself. The silver branch guided them. Its blossoms chimed more brightly as they moved further west, the sound growing clearer, sweeter, more insistent, as if the branch were a compass and the needle was pointing toward its home, and its home was the land the woman had sung of, and the land was getting closer, and the closeness was not a measurement, but a feeling, a warmth, a pull, a quickening, the way you feel home getting closer. When you have been away for a long time, not because you can see it, but because something inside you can feel it, something that knows the way, even when your eyes do not. They reached the Isle of Joy. It appeared on the horizon as a smudge of green, then grew, slowly, into an island, low, green, ringed with white sand, its interior a tumble of flowering bushes, and low trees and grass so green. It seemed to glow with its own inner light. And the people of the Isle of Joy were laughing. They stood on the shore, men and women, old and young, and they were laughing, and the laughter was not the laughter of mockery, or the laughter of madness, but the laughter of a joy so complete, so total, so all-consuming that it had become the natural state of being, the way breathing is the natural state of being, the way the tide is the natural state of the sea. Bran and his men landed. The people of the island welcomed them with open arms, with food and drink and music, and the particular, overwhelming, almost unbearable hospitality of people who have so much joy that they cannot keep it to themselves, who must share it, who must give it away, because joy, like light, does not diminish when it is shared, but increases, and the sharing is not a sacrifice, but a celebration. One of Bran's men, a young warrior, strong and serious, not given to laughter, was so overcome by the joy of the island that he began to laugh, and the laughter would not stop. And the laughter was not a seizure or a sickness, but a release, the release of a man who has been carrying weight he did not know he was carrying, and who has suddenly, in the warmth of this island, in the sound of this laughter, set it down. He did not want to leave. When it was time to go, when Bran called his men back to the boats, the young warrior shook his head. "I am staying," he said. His voice was calm, certain, peaceful. "This is where I belong." Bran looked at him for a long time. He saw the joy in his companion's face, the real, deep, unshakable joy of a man who has found the place where he is meant to be, and he respected it. He did not argue. He did not command. He nodded. he turned. He walked back to the boats, and they sailed on, one man fewer, one joy fuller, the island shrinking behind them, the laughter fading, the sea ahead. They reached the Isle of Women, a wide, green island of gentle hills and flowering meadows, the grass soft as velvet underfoot, the air warm and fragrant with the scent of flowers that have no name in any mortal language, flowers that bloom in colors the surface world does not produce, silver and gold, and a blue so deep it is almost purple, and a green so vivid it seems to sing. The women of the island stood on the shore, and they were beautiful, and their beauty was not the beauty of the body, but the beauty of the welcome, the open arms, the warm smiles, the tables laden with food, the beds made with clean linen, the hearth fires burning, the music playing, the peace, the deep, deep, deep peace that is the peace of a place where nothing is demanded and everything is given. Bran and his men came ashore. They ate, they drank, they rested, and time, which had been reliable, which had been steady, which had been the one constant in a world of variables, time began to move differently. What felt like a year may have been a single evening. What felt like an evening may have lasted a month. The sun moved across the sky in ways that did not follow the rules of the surface world, and the stars appeared and disappeared in patterns that Bran could not read, and the days and nights blurred and blended and became one continuous, warm, golden, unending afternoon. And the men began to forget. They began to forget the sea. They began to forget the voyage. They began to forget Ireland, and the hall, and the fire, and the reason they had come. The otherworld filled them so completely that the memory of any other life became distant and dreamlike. And the dream, which had been the dream of the otherworld, became the waking, and the waking, which had been the life on the surface, became the dream. Life on the Isle of Women was a life without edges. There were no sharp corners, no sudden changes, no moments of alarm or urgency or need. Every desire dissolved before it could form into longing. Every need was met before it could be felt. The queen of the island, the same woman who had appeared in Bran's hall with the silver branch, the woman from the otherworld, explained it to him one evening as they sat on a hillside overlooking the sea, the sun setting in colors that had no names, the air warm and still, and carrying the scent of flowers that had no names either. "This is the nature of the otherworld," she said, and her voice was gentle and patient and carried the particular, ancient and surprised wisdom of someone who has been explaining this to mortals for a very long time. It fills you so completely that there is no room for anything else, no room for memory, no room for longing, no room for the self that you were before you came here. The otherworld does not erase your past. It simply fills you so full of the present that the past becomes unreal, the way a dream becomes unreal when you wake, the way a shadow becomes unreal when the light is strong enough. And Bran understood because he was experiencing it. He was experiencing the forgetting, the slow, gentle, painless erasure of the life he had lived before the voyage. He could still remember Ireland, but the memory was fading, the way a voice fades when you walk away from it, the way a color fades when the light dims, the way everything fades when the distance grows. And the distance between Bran and his old life was growing, and the growing was not painful. That was the terrible, beautiful thing. The growing was not painful. The forgetting was painless. The loss was sweet. And the sweetness was the trap, because a trap that feels like paradise is the most effective trap of all, because who would want to escape from a place where there is no pain and no loss and no end? But one of Bran's men could not forget. His name was Necton, and the longing for Ireland was a seed inside him that the Otherworld could not kill. The Otherworld could suppress it, and it did, for a time, for what felt like a year of perfect peace. But the seed was deep, and the seed was patient, and the seed was made of something that the Otherworld did not have and could not produce. The memory of a real place, a place with edges and needs and weather and pain. A place where things were difficult and therefore mattered. A place where the difficulty was the meaning, and the meaning was the reason to return. After what seemed like a year of perfect peace, Necton went to Bran. His face was troubled, the only troubled face on the island, the only face that the Otherworld had not been able to smooth and warm and fill with contentment. "I must go back," he said. "I must go home. I cannot stay here. This place is beautiful, and the beauty is real, but it is not my beauty. My beauty is rougher. My beauty has rain in it. My beauty has cold stone and wet grass, and the smell of peat smoke, and the sound of the sea on a shore that I know. And I must go back to it, or I will die here, not in body, but in soul. And the dying of the soul is worse than the dying of the body, because the body can be reborn, but the soul, once gone, is gone." Bran warned him. The woman from the Otherworld warned him. The island itself seemed to warn him. The wind shifted, the sky darkened, the flowers closed their petals, as if the land were pulling back, drawing away, releasing him into the cold. But Necton was resolved. The resolution was in his eyes, in his voice, in the set of his shoulders, and Bran, who was a good king, and who knew that you cannot keep a man from his home. Let him go. He gave Necton one instruction. "When you reach Ireland," Bran said, "do not set foot on the ground." The instruction was strange, and Necton did not understand it. but he accepted it the way he accepted everything, with the simple, unquestioning trust of a man who has sailed with his king across the open ocean to the otherworld and back, and who believes, with reason, that his king knows things he does not. Necton sailed home. The voyage was the reverse of the outward voyage. The open sea, the rhythm of the oars, the stars at night, the coast of Ireland growing on the horizon, green and low and familiar, so familiar that Necton wept when he saw it, the tears coming without warning, without decision, the way rain comes, the way grief comes, the way love comes, not because you choose it, but because it is there, and it is real, and it will not be denied. He reached the coast. He saw the hills he had known, the fields he had walked, the shore where he had played as a child. But everything had changed. The landscape was the same, the hills, the fields, the shore, but the people were different. The houses were different. The language was different. The world he had left was not the world he had returned to, and the difference was not small. The difference was centuries. Centuries had passed in the time Necton had spent on the Isle of Women, and the centuries had changed everything, and the everything that had changed included Necton himself, though he did not yet know how. In his shock, in his grief, in the overwhelming, disorienting, groundless realization that the world he had returned to was not his world, that the people he had returned to were not his people, that the centuries had taken everything. In that moment, Necton forgot Bran's warning. He forgot the instruction. He forgot the one condition, the one boundary, the one rule. He stepped from the boat onto the shore, and his foot touched the earth of Ireland. And in that instant, in the space of a single heartbeat, a single breath, a single touch of a foot on the ground, Necton turned to ash. Not violently, not with a cry or a convulsion or a last gasp. Quietly, gently, the way a candle goes out when the wick is done. The way a wave goes out when it reaches the shore. The way a story goes out when the last word has been spoken. He was there, and then he was ash, and the wind scattered the ash across the beach, and the beach absorbed it. And Ireland did not remember him. The sea took back what it had given. The otherworld, which had held him in its warmth, and its beauty, and its timelessness, reclaimed what the surface could not sustain, and Necton was gone, and the beach was empty, and the wind blew, and the sea moved, and the world continued, as it always does, as it always will, indifferent and eternal and patient and complete. Bran learned of Necton's fate. The news came across the water, carried by the wind, carried by the waves, carried by the silver branch that chimed softly in Bran's hand and told him, in the language that the branch spoke, that his companion was gone. Bran stood on the shore of the Isle of Women and looked east, back toward Ireland, a distant line of green on the horizon, barely visible, more memory than land, more dream than shore. He could go back. He had a boat. He had men. He had the knowledge of the route, the stars, the currents, the way the wind blew at different times of the day. He could go back. But what would he return to? A world that had moved on without him. A world where his name, if it was remembered at all, was a half-forgotten legend, a story told by old women to children at night, a story that might or might not be true, a story that no one really believed, because no one really believed in kings who sailed west and never came back. The world he had left was gone. The world that had replaced it was not his. And the man who had been Bran Mac Febail, king of Emain Macha, was not the man who would return. Because the Otherworld had changed him, had filled him, had taken the old self and replaced it with something that did not fit in the old world anymore. Bran made his choice. He did not make it with drama, with ceremony, with a speech or a declaration. He made it the way he had made every decision in his life. Quietly, directly, with the simple, unsentimental clarity of a man who knows what he must do and does it. He did not go east. He did not go toward Ireland, toward the past, toward the world that had moved on. He went west, further west, into the open sea, into the unknown, into the place that the silver branch was pointing, into the land that the woman had sung of, the land of no death and no sorrow and no end. Bran and his remaining companions set sail once more. The Isle of Women shrank behind them, the green hills, the flowering meadows, the warm shore where they had known peace, all of it growing smaller, dimmer, more dreamlike with every stroke of the oars. There was no island ahead. There was no destination on the horizon. There was only water and sky and the faint, sweet, persistent chiming of the silver branch, the sound that was both a guide and a promise, the sound that said, keep going. The land is there. The land is waiting. The land is closer than you think and further than you can imagine. And the only way to reach it is to sail, and the only way to sail is to let go of the shore. And the only way to let go of the shore is to trust the sea. And the only way to trust the sea is to trust the branch. And the only way to trust the branch is to trust the music that it came from. And the only way to trust the music is to trust the woman who sang it. And the only way to trust the woman is to trust the story. And the story is this: there is a land beyond. There is a land beyond the known. There is a land beyond the edge of the map. And the way to find it is to stop looking back. The world became softer. The boundary between sea and sky began to blur. The water lost its sharpness, its blueness, its separateness from the sky, and the sky lost its height. its distance, its separateness from the water, and the two became one, a single, continuous, undifferentiated expanse of silver, grey light that held the boats the way a hand holds a bird, gently, completely, without grip. The mist closed in. The sun became a pale, diffuse, sourceless glow. The wind became a breath. The sea became a silence. And the boats moved through the mist, and the mist was warm, and the mist was kind, and the mist was the last boundary between the world that was and the world that waits. And the boundary was thin, and the boundary was soft, and the boundary was dissolving, the way all boundaries dissolve when you sail far enough, when you let go of enough, when you stop looking back and start looking forward. And the forward is not a direction, but a state of openness, a state of release, a state of letting the story carry you where it will. Bran's boat moves through the mist. The silver branch glows faintly, its blossoms chiming so softly that the sound is not a sound, but a feeling, a warmth, a presence that is both a memory and a promise. The men are quiet. The oars are still. The boat moves without effort, without wind, without current, as if the sea itself is carrying it, as if the story itself is carrying it, as if the mist is a hand, and the hand is gentle, and the gentle hand is taking them where they need to go. No one knows if Bran ever found the land he was seeking. The story does not end. The story does not resolve. The story does not land. The story sails, and the sailing is the story, and the story is the sailing, and the two are the same, and the sameness is the point, because some stories are not about arriving. Some stories are about the voyage. Some stories are about the letting go, the setting out, the trust that the sea will carry you where you need to go. If you stop trying to steer, if you stop trying to control, if you stop trying to know, and you start to simply be on the water, in the mist, between the world that was and the world that waits. The mist thickens, the sound of water fades. The silver branch glows one last time, faint and warm, and then its light dissolves into the mist, and the mist dissolves into the silence, and the silence is not empty. The silence is full. The silence is the fullest thing there is, the way the night is full, the way the sea is full, the way the space between one breath and the next is full of everything that the breath does not need to carry, everything that can be set down, everything that can be released, everything that can be left behind on the shore of the known world while you sail, gently, silently, into the unknown. Sleep well, rest now, drift into the stories of old,